Welcome back. Now, South African documentary photographer Jabulani Dhlamini has returned from the Photo Saint Germain festival in Paris, where his show of soul and joy was on exhibition, examining how photography bridges personal memory and collective history in South Africa. His work is currently now showing at the What's the Word Johannesburg. He also took part in a dialogue panel titled The Return, when photography links the present with the past. His work captures the quiet resilience of South African communities and guides a new generation of photographers to confront the country's past through their own lenses. He joins us now to tell us more about the exhibitions and the works that he has presented. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us this morning, Babu Dhlamini. I mean, your work has been explored and seen by many globally, in Brussels, in Paris, and you've really just gone far and beyond in expressing what South Africa is through photography. Just talk to us with regards to the responses that you've received from those international audiences.
Thank you, Katlego, and thank you for this opportunity. For me, it's always been a very, how I started photography is that the aim has always been to create conversation, to start conversations. And an opportunity for me to go abroad, for example, it was brought by of Soul and Joy, which I work for, which I'm a mentor, a mentor and a project manager there, and it was brought by it. And, it's for me, it's increasing these opportunities to create this conversation beyond, because as you know, the project we started here in South Africa. I work in South Africa, KZN, Gauteng, but then with this, it allowed the conversation to go abroad for people to understand South African history better. As we know that South African history was not recorded by South Africans most of the time, and I think this was an opportunity to get that part of the history that is recorded by the stories that are told by South Africans. South Africans.
And that's a very important point, because with your work, you look to present collective memory of South Africa. How do you navigate capturing moments that are simultaneously personal as well as historical, especially given the complex legacy of South Africa?
Sure. I'm inspired by Ubaba Ngungiwa Tiongo, when he speaks about, we are our history, and in a way that, the history tells a lot about who we are, where we're coming from, where are we going. And, my work has always been about that, understanding the past, because we are where we are. I think our parents tried a lot to hide our past, and in a way, and I realized that, but the past is here, the past is present, and it's a future. And for us, my aim has always been to bridge that gap of bringing that understanding between the past and the present, which is the future. So I always go back. I always, hence I've said, the history was not recorded by us, and so for me it's important to go back to make sure that we understand this history from our point of view, from our grandfathers, from our great-grandfathers, and that is mostly in South African cultures that is oral history. So my aim is to visualize this oral history, to bring it to visual, because of our photographs speaks a lot to a lot of communities. Even if you're not, people even who can't speak, but they can see the images, they can speak, so they can see and get the message. So for me, it was very important to try to bridge that gap, to bring these conversations, to bring messages from the past. Like John Fleetwood says, photographs are a gift from the past. And for me, it's getting these messages from the past. And all people, one thing that I've realized, we are losing abantu abadala, and they didn't say a lot to us.
That's
and
true.
It was not recorded.
Yeah, and that's very true. And I think it also speaks to the work that you're currently doing with young people and the mentorship that you do with regards to teaching them about photography, but at the same time with that history that also needs to be passed down to the young people, particularly those that you train in the townships. Maybe talk to us about those subtle changes and the realizations that you see in them with the work that you're currently doing when it comes to just how they reshape their own perceptions of history once you give it to them in the way that you do through this photography.
Sure. I mean, for me, if photography becomes an easy way to create conversations, like I've said, and we've allowed them, to make sure that I also enjoy, for me, it's a space, it's a home. In a home, that's where you get to look at yourself. And we created mirrors that they get to take these mirrors to the community and look at themselves. Because I think the main aim of Also Enjoy is to grow with the community through these young people. And when the young people starting to realize themselves, their history, where they're coming from, they also show these mirrors to their parents and the community at large. And we get then to look back and fix where we have to do, and but it's suggestive. It's like you bring this mirror, someone gets to interpret what they see. But it's a very important thing because I think photography has a great influence in today's generation.
In many instances, especially when you speak about the physical space, I'd like to just maybe pick your brain with regards to your own personal experiences. When you're exhibiting, either be it urban or rural, within galleries or informal settings, do you think that this alters the power of the storytelling?
Yeah, I mean, for me, what I like, also, thank you for the question, because we're now working with we're doing rural area projects, because of the aim is to reach, Also Enjoy to reach places where photography was not, it's not easily accessible. So we're going to rural areas. We started 3 years ago. And the exhibitions there, for me, mostly they start conversations. They make people to look at themselves. In a gallery space, it's something different. You look at artist statements and stuff, but for me, it's curated. But when you go to the places where you work, people understand your work differently because they see themselves in those work, in those photographs. They ask questions that are related to themselves. It's not about how beautiful the image is, but it's about, like issues that are that comes from that photograph, and that's a difference. Now, for me, I like saying, when I see a photo, these young people, I see them, they are growing when they start accessing themselves, and that's a way of accessing themselves. And I normally say that also the aim is not to grow alone, but it's just to grow with the community, because of one day we'll see ourselves far, but when you go back home, you realize there's still a lot to be done. Hence the talk in Cape Town is titled going back. For me, it's going back, fetching self. When you fetch yourself, you're going back to look at the space that marked your life, the space where you were born, and would check and making sure that you're not only alone, you're not growing alone. Yeah.
Which is very important. Well, Jabulani, thank you for your time and congratulations on just the social responsibility that you have taken in documenting through photography, and we wish you all the best. Your exhibition is running until the 21st of December, and I certainly do hope that many of our South Africans will be able to go and see that exhibition. So that was documentary photographer Jabulani Dhlamini.